If you've ever been ready to fire up the grill to grill some food for your 4th of July holiday, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, welcome back. Happy Monday. Like and comment, get involved, hit that like and subscribe, see why this is the best chat community out there. We got another truncated week, but you still know we're going to go after the money.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks, happy Monday. We are back for another episode of Live Trading. Sorry, we're a tad bit late today. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my main man, 13. 13, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to see if there's anything we can trade here. It's a little bit light this morning. How about you?
Yeah, it is a little bit light this morning. And you know what? That might be a theme for the week here this week, folks. I know a lot of people that I've talked to are just kind of on vacation. Even if they're not in the financial world, they're just kind of on vacation this morning. So it might be a light week all week, but that's okay. We're going to have some fun here. We're going to try to make sense of it. Good morning, everybody. I do have one thing that I need to address here real quick. Gerald saying, give me a cup of your cheapest, best coffee, please. Gerald, I will be happy to share coffee with anybody, but I am of the age and point in my life where I don't do cheap coffee anymore. I like to taste it. It's got to be good, and I like to taste it. So I'd be happy to share a cup of coffee, but it's not going to be any of the cheap garbage that you might be accustomed to. Anyway, great to have a whole bunch of you back. Let's go ahead and bring up a chart here of the SPY. Now, 13, we're going to talk about the SPY here. We're going to talk about these levels here, but let's be honest, there might not be a lot of work getting done this week, with it being, first of all, we only have 4 trading sessions. As Thursday, the market is closed. But on top of that, it might just kind of be light volume. What do you see here for levels? Or maybe perhaps a better question, what is it that you're watching here to determine trades?
Well, we have been talking a lot about those previous all-time highs. They still continue to be levels. As a matter of fact, this morning we bounced off the 544.12 level again before we rose up and started trading above 545.18. So that range still in play. After Friday, we had this pop, got a slightly higher new all-time high, and then came back in. So not really break out and start running into new all-time highs, just got a slightly higher print than before. I think after the selling that we got on Friday, we'll probably see a little bit of recovery today. Can't really say that we're going to go back up to that previous all-time high that we just made on Friday. I don't think that happens, but I do think that we see some recovery since Friday was a pretty red day. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, is just a little bit of recovery. But then after that initial recovery this week, I don't think that we're going to see a whole lot of altitude. We might start trading lower. But that's just what I'm looking at right now.
Okay. Jay Rice. At 13, probably thinking, not sure what that means. Ryan has never had a second cup of my Folgers. You're right, Jay, because I wouldn't even bother with the first cup of that Folgers. Yeah, I said it. Folgers isn't coffee. That stuff's junk. You can do better.
It's not the best part of waking up.
The best part of waking up is pouring something else in your cup. Take that. Okay. So as far as SPY goes here, I'll be honest, I'm definitely going to watch where this is going and how it's trading. I'm going to be more concerned with closing levels, right? Closing and opening levels. Where does the SPY close? To me, that's all I'm really going to draw inferences from. Though I will say, if it starts to like sell off, or if it seems really weak, or there's a newsprint and the market reacts, I'll obviously take a look at it. But I'm going to try not to put too much stock into what happens this week, because I think largely it's not going to be that important of a week. 13, you talked about the BLS data coming on Friday. Do you think that's going to be anything special or anything really important?
Well, it's certainly being given a bit of specialness by how we're looking forward to it. I know that that's a print that has been, a lot of eyes have been directed towards it. We have the different Fed members talking about. We'll see what we get with this.
Yeah.
I think we had some other fund managers and investors talking about the same thing. So all eyes are going to be on this. I don't really know what to expect from it. I think that we probably will still be at or above 4% unemployment. But the market does want this jobs market to show more weakness. It's been a very strong pillar keeping up the economy. People have jobs and they have income to spend. So if we start seeing job losses increase, then that could hurt that narrative. So I think that's what I'll be looking for is more job losses, so we can start seeing this market come in a bit.
Okay, so that pretty much covers it for the SPY. If you folks have anything important or anything that you want to take a look at, you're welcome to do that. Like I said, this week, I would imagine it's going to be kind of light, so probably going to be a fun week here. Now, speaking of fun, let's talk about the big piece of news here. That's going to be Chewy. I know a lot of you folks are already kind of talking about this here in the chat. I'll be honest, the trade that we did here on the show with Pauls, this was one of the better ones. That entry was money. Looking back in hindsight, really the only thing I should have done differently is left that last tranche on instead of stopping out of it. Should have probably left that on for a little bit longer because I probably would have been able to sell into the spike above 30. And that would have been real nice. Nonetheless, really good trade, really good entry. Chewy going to be in the news cycle quite a bit now. Now, this morning, we're up 11.5%. So what's going on here? Chewy shares are rising after Roaring Kitty, a.k.a. Keith Gill, discloses a 6.6% passive stake via 13G filing. So that's what's driving Chewy here. Now, 13, I asked last week, or I didn't even ask. I kind of asked for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. I just kind of said that Chewy is one of the meme stonks. Now, you disagreed with me. Are we in a different spot here today? What do you think?
I don't necessarily think that we're now calling it a meme stonk, because I think just after one day of stonkification that you're only seeing this movement because of something that happened with MLGO last week. It had somebody take a passive stake and it ran. So I don't think this is really, meme stonk movement, even though it's Roaring Kitty who's taking this passive stake. I want to see this play out a little bit. We got to see the meme stonks play out a little bit before they even started getting the coin of the term meme stock. But I think this has only had one day of that. And I want to see just how this trades, and maybe it will end up being a meme stonk. But for me, it's not really checking all the boxes yet. It's at one meme stonk date, in my opinion.
Okay, so Chewy Kitty instead of Roaring Kitty. Actually, that's not a terrible nickname. We might have to go with that. Okay, but so that's what's going on with Chewy here. I am going to kind of throw this into the meme stonk basket. And basically all I mean by that is if I see any of the meme names moving around, I'm going to go after this one, or I'm going to at least take a look at Chewy and see if that's one of the names that's moving around with it. Now, as far as where we're sitting right now, we'll definitely be looking at this for day trades today, without a doubt. I would imagine that the volume is going to be pretty decent amidst a sea of tickers where it might not be that great. But I don't necessarily want to chase this for a swing right here. We're currently at $30.50. We're just about 50 cents above that 500-day moving average. I really want to see what the opening print does to this. RSI is a little bit overgassed right here. Would love for this to kind of consolidate, bring that RSI back in, and then clearly define a downside level. That would make a swing trade or any trade that I'm going to hold overnight a little bit easier to do. So that's kind of the way that I would attack Chewy here. As far as day trades go, definitely waiting for the opening print here.
The thing is that Chewy is such a much better company than the other meme stonks too. So, and it's in the middle of turning itself around, has a lot of good bullish technical indicators going on here too. And this is all before Friday when Roaring Kitty started talking about this one. So, I think I don't really think it's in meme stonk territory. It's on a recovery. It's going to end up doing well. This is it's at a resistance level right now. It's trying to get through. I think it ends up breaking through it, and Roaring Kitty is probably going to end up helping that happen. So if anything, he's kind of helping along the movement that it's already headed towards anyway.
Okay. Good stuff there. Real quick, Jay Rice mentioning we've got the ISM number at 10. Jay, is that today? I think that is today. 13, is that today, or is that going to be sometime this week here? I think that is actually today.
It is. It's at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. And then what else did I miss in here? There was one comment. I can't find it. Oh, yeah. Jay's Life, the other Jay. That's why. Wait for Chewy to go over 3084. So you're looking to long this on a breakout above 3084. Again, my strategy here is I'd like to kind of add the set of supports level, wait for some weakness and see if it holds, and then go after that. But nonetheless, we'll see how this plays out here. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the movers here today. We'll kind of round out our short list, if you will, and then we can go back and take a look at any of these other stocks. We will take a look at Tesla. No doubt Tesla is a daily trader here, so we'll do that next. First one here on the movers list is going to be Complete Solaria, ticker CSLR. Complete Solaria... Complete Solaria shares are trading higher after the company announced that it eliminated $67.6 million of its own private equity debt. Stock's up 93% here, really kind of button up against that 220 area that it's trying to break down. Volume looking real good here today. Almost 39 million shares. On average, stock trades about 1.5 million shares. So really, really good volume here in the pre-market, and some pretty good trading action here in the pre-market. Impulse moves, the corrective moves have come down to support levels, except for this first one, which kind of overshot the VWAP. Nonetheless, we got bought back above that VWAP. We've actually moved away from the VWAP. So pretty good formation, pretty good trading activity here so far in this one. We'll see what happens when the market opens. 13, did you have anything on CSLR here today?
Just that private equity debt getting eliminated. They also mentioned the $18 million investment. I don't know what they were investing in, but they do have 17.815 million shares in the float. So it's down there with ones that we can move around. But right now I'm just kind of watching it, and it seems like it's finding a short-term top. I think I want to wait for this one to open and see what happens after we start the regular session, because I think we'll probably get some weakness out of the gate. And once it stops the initial sell-off, then we can start looking at it as for a trade to the upside. But that's what I'm going to be waiting for with this one, CLSR. The next upside target I have here is 230.
Okay, so you're waiting for it to show some weakness first, then we'll talk about actually taking it long. I like that plan a lot. That's kind of how I would fit in on it too. Good stuff there. CSLR. Okay, next on the list here is going to be Holly. Now, no, that was not Hollow. That's Holly. That's HOLI. I don't think there's going to be any other trades here though, because this looks like this was the completion of a merger. Stock's at about 25.53 here, up 17.8%. You don't have anything on this one, do you? This isn't one that you were holding or anything like that?
No, I'm not. I didn't cover this one, and the movement's pretty much in when it comes to these mergers. So,
I definitely. I one of the things, I can skip these if you folks want to skip them, but I like just at least calling it out so we know what's going on. If all of a sudden the market opens and the stock appears in the scanner, we don't have to react to it. We know what's going on.
I feel like if we don't mention that it's a buyout and that it's probably not going to have a whole lot of movement after it's trading near the buyout price, I think it bears worth just mentioning so that it clears up anything that just the chat brings up. Like, hey, look, this one's up. It's a merger. We'll cover it.
We see it all the time. Sometimes, we some of these will actually give an opportunity, right? That nothing will be finalized. There might be a bidding war back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't seem to be the case here. Looks like that's over. That's what's going on. We already talked a little bit about Chewy. This actually did the first thing. Now that I'm kind of looking at the intraday chart, we do want to see if we can hang on to 30, but really what's going to tell the story is the opening print. I'm not going to make any more predictions about this one here in the pre-market. We'll wait and see what happens when the market actually opens. Next is going to be iBit here. Now, this is just a Bitcoin ETF. This is the iShares Bitcoin Trust. This is up here. Bitcoin's down. Looking at the Bitcoin futures chart here, we're at 63,100. Does not look like it's been a great weekend for Bitcoin. Now, we are up off the lows. That's one thing to say in here. You got anything on this Bitcoin ETF? Are you watching Bitcoin at all? You have any trades lined up for any of those?
I noticed that Bitcoin was coming back up. It had a bad week last week. It was
Yeah, it did.
selling off, and now it's on the recovery. So I think I'll just I have some ideas for Bitcoin names. Of course, I'm going to go and look at the traditional names like CLSK, Mara, Riot. I'll be looking at those. Some of the Bitcoin ETFs, maybe those as well. But I think the miners move better than some of those Bitcoin ETFs do. So probably won't look at the ETFs. Just focus on the miners. And then
Okay.
I have Bitcoin off on the side here, so I can see what the price is. So
Okay.
watching that.
Fair enough. Next here on the list is going to be NEO. Now, this actually does have something going on here. NEO shares trading higher after the company reported June deliveries, which increased 98.1% year over year. Now, NEO here is up 4.5%. I don't know what the expectation for the deliveries is. So, frankly, although that number does look pretty good on the surface, the reality is I don't have any context to compare it to. You guys know me. I'm not a NEO fan to begin with. Or really anything Chinese EV, but that's what's going on here. 13. Do you have any context on NEO here?
I saw that they were moving up, but unless we're seeing rises in pre-market over 10%, it's not really something that I'm going to pay a whole lot of attention to. Maybe this does go higher in the regular session, so put it on your radar if you want to try trading it. But for me, I'll just wait and see if anything happens with it. I didn't cover it.
Okay. Good stuff there. Okay. And then the next thing here, just mentioning this Spirit Aero Systems. This is ticker SPR. I think we've traded this one before, or at least we've looked at it before when we've talked about this. Spirit Aero System shares are trading higher after Boeing entered into an agreement to acquire the company for $37.25 per share in Boeing common stock. Price here is $34.28. You have anything on this one at all?
We've known about this for some time, so this is not new news. It's just that I think they're finally just pulling the trigger on this, or they finally they finalized the terms of the merger. I don't have a whole lot of context beyond that, other than I know that Boeing's going to end up breaking this company up.
Okay. So there you go. That pretty much takes care of the movers. Let's jump back. We do have 9 minutes here. Chat suggested a number of different stocks here. We're going to start with Tesla because that's one I know people always take a look at. Yes, we'll cover Rivian. Yes, Reddit sounds good too. Boeing as well. So we can take a look at all of those here. Here's your Tesla chart. The one thing on the daily to keep in mind here with Tesla is that, first of all, the recent action, pretty good, right? We traded up off the lows. We've done a good job holding above the 50-day moving average, even after several tests. And now we've traded above the 100-day. So next stop here is going to be the 200-day. That's the blue line that you see on the screen here. I've got that value at 205.88. Current price of Tesla's 200. If we take a look inside here, you can see Tesla's actually having a pretty decent morning, right? So we're not quite up to the intraday highs from Friday, but we're up off of the lows from Friday, excuse me. Take a look at Tesla here. I did see one newsprint here. Tesla signs a 100 megawatt megapack contract worth $100 million with New Zealand's Contact Energy. You got anything here on Tesla? Are you waiting for this one? You watching this one? What do you think?
Well, 205, 206 looks pretty interesting. And of course, that's right where the 200-day SMA is, because I'm looking to the left and I see that there was a gap that was filled the gap that was back in January of this year. It got filled the following month in February, and it filled, and the gap started and at about that 206 level, and it was filled just underneath that. So it seems like that's a pretty important level. Either we break out of that, or we get major resistance coming by way of the 200-day SMA. Now, if that happens and we go lower, then I would be looking at 200 and 194 as downside levels on that weakness. So if we get rejected at 200-day SMA, 200 and 194, those are the levels I'm looking at.
Okay. Real good stuff here on Tesla. This, to my eye, I don't know about the next move, but to my eye here, it does look like this wants to try higher here, both that 200-day and that potential gap fill. We'll see if we end up getting that. Lynn and Randy, I know you folks are back locked in. Would love to hear how you're going to trade Tesla here today. Really good stuff on that. Okay, Chuck in the street, one of my favorite handles. I'm not sure what it means, but it sounds badass. Let's talk about Rivian here. Did you guys talk about Rivian? No, not yet. Now, we did talk about Rivian when we had that Volkswagen investment. Shout out to Jay Rice, who had mentioned that Volkswagen did a similar type of investment with XPEV back when XPEV was $15. XPEV right now cut in half at about $750 here. The one thing that was noticeable since the newsprint from Rivian, first of all, the company still loses some money. I think it's $1 billion a quarter, isn't it? They still lose a ton of money. That hasn't been changed despite the investment here. Now, the trading action here, we popped above that 200-day, but this was telling for me. We could not close above the 200-day. And in fact, we actually had a couple more days where we sold off. One of those days where we retested that 200. Not only could we not close above it, we couldn't even break through it. So you can see here, Rivian popped up to about 1634, higher than that in the after hours. I actually think this tested 18 on the day that we got that move. Yeah, it tested 19. We actually printed 1888. Stock's down over $5 off those highs in 3 sessions. So Rivian, you know, the story here is the same, right? There's not, they still lose money. Yeah, I get it. The truck looks cool. I see one that around me looks pretty sweet. But it's still in an all EV market, and I don't really think there's a whole lot of demand for that. So Rivian here, the stock performance post that news has been extremely disappointing. That being said here, maybe we can come in towards a support level and give us a long side trade. You got anything here on Rivian? And the chat, do you guys like anything here about Rivian? What do you think?
I think $12 looks like an interesting level. There's going to be, in my opinion, well, you can see it. There's a gap to fill to the downside, and that gap ends up filling at 1204. Also in that area is a 20-day SMA. So to me, $12 seems like a pretty good, and you know, we might trade just beneath that or just above it, but I think we'd be watching for $12 for some downside support. It looks like that's where this price could be headed, and if it does fill that, I think there also might be a bounce and possibly a reversal. So that's going to be the level I'd watch for in RIVN. $12. We get down there, you might see the buyers come in and start lifting it back up.
Okay, man, that would be almost a full round trip from that newsprint if we do, in fact, pull back to 12 there. Yikes. One thing I will say here is that after we gapped down and we created this little gap here that we're talking about potentially.
No, not that one.
You're talking about this one in here.
Yes,
okay.
That one.
So before we actually get to that one of the things that you'll notice is that we've actually pulled back to the top end of this area. So we did technically fill that gap. It'll be interesting to see if it has some support here, or do we then come after this gap? Good stuff there. We'll see which way we go here on Rivian.
And I also think that was more of an upside gap to fill because the gap was created by downside price action. So that gap needed to be filled to the upside. We did that when they got the funding or the money from Volkswagen. Now I'm looking at the earlier gap that we created from that price action to be filled to the downside. So that's where I'm looking for the gap to be filled.
Okay. Real quick question here. I've seen this coming around. I've seen this being used quite a bit here. This pink hand. Jane, I know you use this all the time when you say good morning to Buddy, which is very sweet, by the way. I don't know if I've commented on it. I'm a boomer and I have no idea about like trendy emojis and all the internet stuff. Can someone explain to me what the pink hand emoji actually means and why this is popular? Maybe it's just a kind of a random thing. I'm just wondering if anyone can explain that. Not terribly important, but I'm just kind of wondering myself. Saw this mention here. Pat M says Keith Gill needs jail time. So Pat, I'm not sure where I fall on this. I generally speaking want to have a lot of facts before I call for another human being to spend time in jail. I generally just don't do it. But I did see over the weekend that there were other people kind of hinting at this, talking about maybe an investigation. Here's the thing. Can anyone point to something that he did that would actually be a jailable offense?
And didn't
I don't think he recommended anybody buy a stock. I don't think it fits the traditional definition that would give somebody jail time. So I'm just curious to know what you folks think. I think that this whole thing is shady, but for me, it's very, very easy to just avoid it and not really have any trouble. I know when you're talking about stocks moving around, especially big real companies like Chewy, for example, there's a lot of money involved there and this, that, and the other thing. So I don't know. I don't know which way this goes. I'm just curious to hear what you folks think.
Well, I think we're about to trade this market.
Yeah, we are. Sorry, I'm going through here.
No, it's perfect. You've wrapped it up just in time. Let's do this.
Okay, so the pink hand just means waving. It's just a new hand. Okay, well, that's pretty simple. That's pretty simple. Okay, folks, as a reminder, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above that 25K day trading threshold or just simply need some more dry powder in order to execute your strategy, be sure to check out Trade the Pool. We love those guys. They're helpful. They even give us plays sometimes. So, all right. What are we taking a look at here? Let me get my scanner all set. Let's see what Chewy is doing. Oh, man, I'm glad for the market to be open again.
Just waiting to see if we get that drop in CSLR. Kind of sideways at the moment. Not really sure which way it wants to go, but looking for $2 to fall.
Real quick, Becca coming in hot today. It's also a YouTube only emoji, not one that's normally on the cell phone keyboard. That, you know what? Of all of the explanations, that one makes the most amount of sense. Okay, Chewy, lower we go.
Another one I'm watching is ASTS. That one had some activity in pre-market. It's since come down, looking to recover there. This
Real
is
quickly before ASTS, look at Boeing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sorry, the only reason I'm interrupting you right now is because DJAF mentioned Boeing in the pre-market. We didn't have enough time to cover it. Boeing ripping off the gate here. Would like a little bit more information here on Boeing. Lynn saying, by the way, on Boeing, Spirit Aero is a buyback of a previous spinoff. Big Department of Justice decision on Boeing today. Possible big shorts. Okay, so you're looking for Boeing to the downside here. I'll be honest, I don't have a whole lot of details on that Spirit Aerosystems issue.
Let's see what happens if it gets to 192. I know that's it's like $7 away, but that looks like an interesting level. I don't know that it gets there today. It's got a lot of float to move around, but that would be an interesting level to me. And
sorry, real quick here. I was reading way too many things there.
No worries. Oh, yep. CLSLR up to that 230 level I was talking about earlier. Let's see if it breaks through. No weakness
right through that 220.
Yeah, no weakness in this one yet. ASTS also pushing up. GOVX, GovX. That one's getting a pop out of the gate here.
Jay mentioning HCC here. So Warrior Met Coal, Jay say, has been ripping all AM. Coal name, no idea why. The first thing that I would do is I would check BTU, also moving to the highs here. What's the other coal? What's the other coal name? Not BTU. I think it begins with an A, not Archer, not a Arch Coal or something. I can't remember the ticker. Looks like coal's moving here. Jay, my question would be, do you think that what do you think's driving the energy policy here? Do you think it has something to do with AMR? AMR, thank you, Jay. God bless it. You know what? That's embarrassing. I should have known that one. I should have known that one. All of these higher here. What do you think's going on with this coal move?
I wonder if this is just maybe a realization that we don't have the electrical infrastructure to support all these different things we want to do with AI, Bitcoin, EVs, and all that. And I'm not saying that we're going to start firing up coal plants again, but I think I really don't know what the actual reason for coal is, but I think it might have something to do with needing more electrical energy.
Okay, so maybe just a coming back to earth realization that, hey, if we're going to do all of these big energy projects as well as keeping the power grid stable, probably not going to be able to rely on wind and solar.
I'm just guessing at this point. I have no idea why coal's up, but I know that electrical generation is going to be a theme as we realize that we don't have the capacity to do all these different electrical endeavors we want to do. ASTS now through 12. This one's moving nicely, even if it is a little bit slow. GovX going higher. CSLR got up to 235.
Yeah, so SR here is saying the Chevron decision. Now that's interesting. That's interesting because it's gonna gut regulation. So it's basically going to make sure that Congress has to be the one to approve those. Anyway, we don't need to necessarily get into all of that, but that's a good call, SR. I think that absolutely might. That
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. Okay, Chewy here. Jay mentioning this big fade here on Chewy again. Let's see. This seems to be what happens when Kitty gets involved in these. Stocks become more volatile. Want to see where this ends up bottoming and if it gives us a long side entry.
Looks like we get some of these Bitcoin names doing really well. Mara, CLSK, right? They all have some really nice movement out of the gate here.
You guys are mentioning Tesla here. Tesla rip out of the open right above that pre-market range. Let's see, let me actually bring Tesla up on one of my other charts here. We just talked about those levels. I got to start memorizing these Tesla levels. I really do.
205 is, I think, what we were talking about. And then, of course, the 200-day SMA is up a little bit higher than that, but still in the same handle.
205.89 is the exact read that I have on that 13. And then the other thing here is that 205.60, the top end of that range that I talked about in the previous gap, not the most recent one. So, okay, Tesla here. Let's see what happens at 205. Do you think maybe a reversal at 205, or do you think we break through that?
I think maybe with this volume, we probably will reverse.
Okay.
I don't want to, forecast what's going to happen when we get up there. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But if we don't break through that in a couple of candles, I'd probably be looking more towards the 200 and 194 levels. CSLR now getting the downside we've been looking for. If this comes down to about 165, I might go and try a trade here.
Okay, sweet there.
ASPS taken off. 1240 is the pre-market high on that one. I think that one's going to get taken out.
Oh, this was such a good call. You know what? I skipped over this when you mentioned this the first time too. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. This will have plenty of other opportunities. This is the one that's putting the satellites in space for Verizon and AT&T for Starlink-esque coverage.
ASNS getting mentioned by Webcoin. Good morning, Webcoin. Happy Monday. ASNS up off that VWAP here. We'll see if that can get back to 220. CLSR, man, what a nasty pull that was. What do you think if we recapture VWAP here? So you actually want to wait this out till 260s, huh? Mm-hmm. Be a little bit more patient. I like it.
Yeah, it may get some support around 180, but I don't think it'll hold up. I like it better down in the 160s based on the pre-market movement it was having. Actually, more like after hours on Friday.
Real quick, Crow mentioning Happy Canada Day. So happy Canada Day to all our Canadians out there. I know I opened the show talking about my excitement for 4th of July. Forgive my American ignorance here, but what is Canada Day? What do you folks do? And are you having a good one? Happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian viewers out there. Jay, taking a look at Mara. So those miners, 13, this was a really good call. You said you were going to watch the miners here today. Mara right above that $21 level. We'll see if it holds it here.
Mara, CLSK, and Riot, they're all doing good stuff right now. But like I said with these names, watch what Bitcoin does, and they'll kind of get a bit of a preview as to where these stocks will head moments later. I had Bitcoin up here just a second. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's moving up. Now when I was talking about it, it was like 62,000 and 700 something. Now we're at 62,800 and change. So looking for 63K. That's the next. I mean, we tested it earlier, just before we opened. So that's the level I think we'd be looking for or to want to get over is 63,000.
Chewy trying to find some support here. We actually have a little bit of room, about $1.50 back to the VWAP if it does find some support here.
I don't know that ASTS is going to double top at 1240. Sometimes when we get these pre-market levels here, they tend to be the breakout spots when we get the upside movement in the regular session. So if we, and you know, that can also be, of course, like you said, a rejection level, but usually it's more of a breakout.
Okay.
So a little bit higher now, 1242 in ASTS. Volume is kind of looking a little weak here. So to your point, Elon, it may come back in a little bit if we don't get a little bit more volume expansion. Looking good so far. Okay, now it's gone up to 1249. So volume's coming in.
Chewy is kind of holding in here. Let's see. Huma getting a mention.
Which one?
Huma, HUMA. That is ripping here. AMZN, Amazon getting a mention here, not really doing anything. Was there any news on Amazon? Why are we mentioning Amazon? Yeah, even with all of the other bigger stocks, Tesla, Goldman Sachs, Apple, all putting in bigger moves here. I don't see anything fresh on Amazon. Looks like we had Needham reiterating buy, maintaining 205 price target. Yeah, I don't see much here on Amazon. Let us know what's going on with Amazon. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything notable today. Let's go back to some of the other stocks that are moving here. Huma, still really good volume. That actually pushing higher here. DJT, this selling off right out of the open. We'll see if we reclaim VWAP here. I'd be a little skeptical of that first move, to be honest. NNE, busting and moving higher here. DTSS getting mentioned by a number of people in chat. This thing way too thin, isn't it? Data C. Nice move here. So this was halted and moved higher. What did this get halted on? Let me see if I can. Was there news on this one? Sorry if I'm moving too fast here, 13.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to find something I like to trade. No trades for me. And I think the Bitcoin miners are looking a little bull flaggy right now. So they can get back above their VWAPs. There might be a trade here with these Bitcoin names. We also have Bitcoin still holding in that 62,700 area, so a little bit lower now, but trying to recover.
DTSS, DataC enters into a new sales agreement for its 5G AI communications and high-tech acoustics segments. So that is the news driving that one here today.
Right. Chewy looking for 30. Okay.
Let's see. Did we turn around there on Chewy? That's one of the things that. Nope. Still holding lower.
Yeah, Elon, I'm not in ASTS right now. I mean, I should have taken the trade when it was under 12 just out of the gate, but I wasn't looking at the screen when I did that, so I missed that one. Maybe I'll get another opportunity when it comes down to VWAP if it gets support there.
Kind of want to try Chewy here, actually. I'm going to try some. I'm going to try some right here. We'll see. I want to get a move back towards that VWAP. If it loses these lows here, we'll just stop out of that. Tom, good question. And actually, we're going to ask, oh my God, the outfit that Dan Ives has on today. Sorry for getting distracted there, but that is a holiday outfit. I would never even consider going on TV looking like that, but that's just me. Okay, I digress here. Let's talk about this. Hey, Ryan, your thoughts on Chipotle is pulling back as expected. I'll keep an eye here on Chewy real quick. That as soon as I bought it, immediately down. So let's talk about Chipotle here. We talked about the split possibly being important here. Chipotle, I think the split price was like $66 or something like that, thereabout. Split adjusted price. Now that the split has happened, the stock continues to pull back. That is one of the things. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, nothing. That is one of the things that we were hoping for. This actually pulling back to a support level. One of the things that I'd be looking at here, Tom, maybe 60 to 61 for this downside move to stop. Then let's see if maybe we turn around here, right? That's going to be the big thing.
Here's your test of the 200-day SMA and Tesla. So here's where we're going to find out if we break out of that over that SMA or not.
Here you go. 205 Tesla. Man, I miss Rab Smith. What a guy.
All right.
Um,
SLR. If we can fall through this 180 handle here, then not handle, but this 180 level.
Robert saying, I like Dan Ives' Easter Bunny. No, and you know what? Look, I'm more joking than anything else. I mean, Dan Ives is a successful guy appearing on CNBC. There's really not a whole lot I can say. But I mean, a lime green jacket like that, it's just tough. I poke fun in fun. I'm not actually critical. Tom, 60 to 61. I'd be curious to know what anyone else thinks about Chipotle. Anyone else think we're going to buy this post-split dip? 13, what about you? We've talked about Chipotle a whole lot. Do you like that or not?
I'm still waiting. If I'm gonna buy any of it, I'm just waiting on it.
Okay, but is there any particular level, or do you just kind of want to watch the flow and watch how it actually trades?
Well, to be honest, it's not really one that I've had on my radar that much at all. I know about it. I know that everybody's excited about the reverse split. I know about the company and everything, but for me, it's just run a whole lot. I want to see. I guess if we're talking levels, I want to maybe see it come and down and maybe test this demand zone that's between, let's call it 57 and 60.
Okay.
See what happens down there.
Okay. So Tom, I was talking about 60 being kind of the low end of the range. Seems like 13 is there, 60 being the high end of the range. So 60 really does seem to be the next point that's important there. We'll see on Chipotle. We'll definitely see. I did like this, though. Remember, one of the things that I wanted to see was it kind of sell off. So if we can actually time that entry really good, we'll be in good shape there on Chipotle.
SMS, you're hearing Robinhood is down, as in the brokerage is not able to fulfill orders. That's not good if that's what you're saying. Thank you for that piece of information. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either. Here's the stock, Robinhood, kind of on the lows here. Boy, Chewy, that bounce did not work. Lower we go here on Chewy. Yikes. Guys, what happened here on Chewy? I thought Roaring Kitty was supposed to help me fight the hedge funds. I thought he was supposed to help me make more money. What's happening? Chewy continuing to hunt lows here, man. This is going to lose 28.
Maybe this is why he needs to be in jail.
Well, okay, let's not tie that to me here, 13. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
All right. Sorry for the controversy.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, just to be clear, I'm not calling for anybody to be in jail because of this. Reddit also kind of turned around here. So these plays, let's put it this way. We don't think Chewy is a meme stonk. Fine. I'm with you on that. Well, I definitely understand it's a quality company here, the whole 9 yards. But man, everything that seems to touch this whole GME Keith Gill thing doesn't work all that well.
We're not in that environment anymore where, the meme stonks and the cryptos and everything were just going wild. People were at home. They had, stimulus money to spend. The environment doesn't exist for when things like that were going wild. Maybe they'll exist again one day, but, and rates were super low. I mean, we're just not there right now. I don't think that these we're going to try to repeat and be successful at repeating what happened in 2021.
Okay. Eva, enjoy. We'll see here. Chewy, this looks like this is going to head lower. I'll tell you what, oh my God, look at that break below 28. I'm just going to have to stop. This one did not work. What a nightmare. Let's see if we can get above 28 here real quick.
Robert Smith.
I'm going to close this one out. Just going to take a loss on Chewy. What a bummer, man. 0 for 1 here today. Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying that Robert Smith was mentioning NNE. It's looking like it's trying to get over 30.
The good mention here from the morning was Tesla. We did pop above that 205. We're pulling back beneath it, 13. So I'm wondering what you think here for a possible setup on Tesla. See if we get back down to the VWAP. I got that VWAP 204.50.
Well, let's take a look here. So far, it's getting rejected at that 200. And if that continues, then not the $200 level, but the 200 SMA, the day SMA. If we do get rejected here and we start trading lower, then the 200 handle is going to be the first level of support I have.
Look at Tesla already bouncing here. Let's see if we can take that and move it higher.
All right. That,
How about Nike from last week?
That what would it bounce? That
Trying.
DXYZ, I think that was mentioned earlier. It just was super, low volume. That one's still having great movement, but price action, but the volume just is still low.
Still haven't traded this one. I'm intrigued, but haven't traded it. How's Boeing doing? Boeing look like it's trying to take the next leg up. Wow, on Boeing. Jay's Life, why don't you give it an hour? Because your first stop is your best stop. My plan was for a move back to the VWAP. It did not hold its intraday low. It just snapped it. So that's the end of that. That's the end of that trade. It was wrong. Can always rebuy it if necessary. Huma also getting mentioned. That's coming back to the V. Wow, that actually went right beneath the VWAP. See if this reclaims it here.
Just waiting to see if some of these names that are curling right now are going to end up taking off. Like one of them, for example, is ASTS, where it popped up to 1260 and came back in. And now it's just under VWAP.
So how about CSLR here? I know it didn't get down to your 160. It did kind of bottom out there at 180. Looks like it's trying to go back towards 2.
It does. And no, it didn't. So yeah, my order has not been filled. I thinking that this is still going to fall underneath 180 again. If anything, it's probably going to end up trading up to VWAP and get rejected. And if it doesn't, then my trade plan is not working for this one, and I'll just move on from it. Mara and Riot and the Bitcoin names, they look like they're about ready to take out their regular session highs.
Yeah, look at Mara right here. Mara right at the VWAP here. Let's see if this goes higher. It might try to go right through 21. That little bit of size there will not stop it. That's not much of anything.
When does Tesla report Q2 numbers? They report, let's get that for you. They are unconfirmed for July 17th. All right, CSLR, still waiting for that to do things. Yeah, looks like the Bitcoin names might provide a trade. So just kind of watching to see what those do. What else?
Nike's still holding 75. Carm from last week. Charisma Therapeutics, not our Carmen. Carm from last week, the ticker.
Oh, thanks, Tony D, for the information. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Tesla, right? They did report their car deliveries tomorrow.
Which one was this? Which comment?
This was Tony D. There you go.
Tony D. Personal chef? Tony, are you a personal chef? Interesting. That's pretty cool. Jay, you mentioned a lot of the AI names getting sold. I checked on Ticker AI, which we put that one aside here. NVIDIA at the lows here, 119, actually snapped through that 120 there. SMCI looks even weaker here, more downside going on SMCI. Be curious to know what SMCI does down here at 691. That's still 70 some points away.
We traded this one last week, VLCN. This one's getting some pretty nice movement.
So VLCN, this one was actually pretty sweet. Last week when we traded this one, I actually traded it a couple of times, just little scalps after the show ended, but that was a good day. That was a good day.
Love those good days. All right.
Oh, look at Mara. Look at your Mara. Right through 21.13. Printed 21.29 and stopped there. Boy, I should have just bought that one.
Yeah, this, Mara looks good. Let's see, Riot, maybe. I mean, they're all looking like they have the same setup where they're trying to take out their regular session highs they put out when the bell opened or the market opened. So that's where they're at right now. CSLR, I'm just still waiting for this one. Don't think it's going to retake VWAP at this moment. ASTS lower. Maybe this one comes around later on today. But Elon, good discipline waiting for that one.
That's who was on this one earlier today. GovX holding above that VWAP here.
Yeah, I've only got one trade today, and that was a small one in Mara.
I'm 0 for 1. I tried Chewy. That is continuing to move lower here. So market at the lows here, or at least the SPY at the lows, NASDAQ at the lows, Dow off the highs. So really the industrial names.
And it looks like Nike is trying to get above that's a pre-market high of 76.25. This one may end up going to 76.95 before getting some real resistance. That's NKE.
Robert mentioning Relly here. Indeed, this is a nasty spread. Yeah, Robert, we're not even gonna be able to do anything with that until that closes it up. Perigo getting mentioned here. PRGO. Sorry, I'm just catching up on some of these names here from the chat. Mark, good morning. SMH is indeed weak. Perigo here up towards the highs, but 26.57. So we're actually right above that 20-day moving average. This is where it's found resistance before. What I'd be interested in here is, does this candle close above? We'll see. Jay here, like this. Selling AI, buying banks, JPM, Goldman Sachs, etc. That's a new high in JPM. So banks post the stress test here, looking like they're doing pretty well. JP Morgan, one of those that definitely passed with flying colors.
Oh yeah, I think they were the best one. I had a thought, but never mind. But we were talking about, I don't remember if we were saying it, when we were on live trading here, or if it was before we started, but energy and banks were looking, and financials were looking good this morning.
Goldman Sachs. Let me bring that up here. Goldman Sachs. I was too early on that. I was looking for a move to 500. I still think it's going to get it. I was just too early on it. Would love to know anyone else that trades Goldman Sachs, or maybe you hold it.
Well, getting pretty close to
Manny. Good morning, dude. Hope you had a good weekend.
Getting pretty close to. Hey, Zoltan.
Zoltan, I am back. Zoltan, back with a vengeance. Zoltan, are you enjoying the Euros and the Copa America soccer? Because I'll be honest with you, it has been awesome to watch. Welcome back, Zoltan. Good to see you this morning.
Absolutely.
RXRX, decent mention here. Neville looking at RXRX. This has really kind of been sideways and in a range here. The one thing that I will say looks like a potential breakout spot here. Let's call it 782, maybe $8. Maybe $8 is too much, giving it too much. 782, we're right there, Neville. What do you think here on RXRX?
Let me see here.
Just anyone. Oh God, Zoltan mentioning how dude, what is Garrett Southgate doing? What on earth? That team is loaded with talent. They can't do anything. My buddy who lives in England is like, he's loving it. Does not have good things to say. Anyway, great to see you.
For me, RXRX, I'd be $8 doesn't look like a really good level here, because back on Wednesday, after the closing bell, I believe, there was just a lot of sideways consolidation right at that level, and I think that's going to create a bit of a supply zone for upside movement. So if RXRX gets up to 8, you might see some profit taking or selling there. I'm not sure if it blasts through it on the first attempt.
Okay, there you go, RXRX. I'd really like to see this breakout above 10, just kind of looking ahead. Relly, this got mentioned earlier. This chart, I'll tell you what, the spread still, okay, just tightened up on us right there. This looks like this wants to go higher. This is kind of wild, kind of low volume, right? Traded at what, only 385,000 shares on the day here on Relly?
Just to
No,
answer
I
the
got
question,
620,000.
just to answer Jonathan Cooper's question, pets looks. I mean, it could be, but it's super, thin. I don't see enough volume here. Like you might not get, what you're looking for with this one. With this kind of volume, if you have like a large amount of shares, might not sell all of them when it pops up to your level. Be careful if you're going to try trading pets. I don't like the way the volume looks in this one. All right, CSLR. Let's see if I get a bounce here. It's down to that level I was talking about. What else? Let's see it. Mara, Riot, and CLSK. I think those are all trying to make that push for the breakout of the intraday high.
Jay mentioning VKTX. I've taken that one off. This has moved up. You're right. This was in the 40 handle. Here we are at 56. I still think this has a chance of going higher. We do have some moving average convergence there at about 63.5. Jay, are you in this? I can't remember. I have no position in this one. I've traded this a few times. No position currently, but I'm interested in this again.
ASTS back above 12. Oh, yeah.
Just completely gave that up.
ASTS went to VWAP, got rejected. Not sure what we get with ASTS right now, but I think Elon had it right. Just wait this one out a little bit.
Jay, yes, I am in VKTX. I gotta not do that. Jay says, yes, I am in VKTX. Okay, awesome. Would like to know what your plan is. What kind of target are you looking for? No, you don't necessarily give upside targets. You kind of just watch the flow and all that. Anyway, let me know what you're looking for there. ETSS, you guys were mentioning that one earlier here. That's really struggling to get above its VWAP. SNTI is a penny stock for those of you that are watching that one. It's been a pretty big rip here. Crow, I think you're probably on this one. NNE, this coming through its VWAP, going back towards its highs. Let's see if we get there.
Yeah, high of 30 on that one.
TNXP, the other penny name, this has done almost nothing. COSM getting mentioned in the chat. This is another penny stock.
Well, Zim is really looking like it wants to break that June 5th high of 2382. Volume's kind of slowly going away in this one over the days. Not sure we're going to see that breakout unless we have a larger volume day than what we were getting last week.
Tesla. Oops, wrong one. Oh God. Just clicked on the wrong one. Tony here saying Tesla ripping. Tesla, indeed, this has been really, really strong. Look at this move. Tesla to the highs there. Danielle mentioning Rivian. We did talk about Rivian early. Let's see where we're at on that one on Rivian. Okay, that's continuing to move to the highs here. You have to buy bios when the chart looks awful. Okay, it does make it a little bit more difficult, but you're probably right on that, right? You want to get it when the price is attractive. Don't be chasing it, especially when it's volatile.
Those charts have all been pretty awful lately, so you're going to buy pretty much everything.
Chewy went red. The kitty is back in the litter. I'm here for a kitty litter joke. That's for sure. I'm here for that.
I wonder if they're going to start like a Roaring Kitty ETF and call it Meow Mix.
Oh, I'm getting shirt ideas. Oh, but we can't have someone's likeness on the. We're going to get sued. Damn. Purgatory Park says, Ryan, you guys in the chat are on fire today. That's what we do here. We start fires, metaphorical ones, of course, for the purpose of finding good stock trades.
GOVX with a bit of volume here, trying to push up through that 379 level.
Here you go. That's on deck right here, 13. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Jesse. Great to see you again. Hopefully all's going well and the Hernandez end of the world. Glenn, you've been pretty sharp with the Chewy charting, I'll be honest. Glenn mentioning intraday buy-op right here, 26.45. How is MLGO doing? Oh, that's done nothing here today. DJF. You're looking for a CRM short? Someone doesn't like Mark Benioff here, DJF. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but you're looking for a CRM short to 180. Okay, so real quick here, maybe I don't understand this. You're looking for CRM to pull back towards 180. So here's that 180 level. Okay, so this is an area of resistance and then maybe support back from 2023. But that would mean we'd need to be rejected right here at the 200-day, give back all of the recent gains, then break through the 500 in order to get to that 180. DJF, oh, you said 280. Okay, well, that's a big difference. Big difference, bro. That is actually upside move here, pretty much right to the 100-day. So DJAF, the way that I would trade this one is watching these closes above the 200-day. We've got no closes above the 200-day. It'll be interesting if we get the first one here today. What does the rest of this week look like? You know what, 13? I'm going to ask Tom about this. Let me actually add that to my notes here. I'm going to ask Tom about this because we've talked to him about CRM before, and I don't think he's given a trade plan on this.
Well,
DRM 200 DMA idea. Okay, we're going to ask about that one.
Seems like it really needs to start closing above 260 because that's been it seems like that's the level where it's getting rejected at. You can see the upper shadows it's putting in. No closes above 260. It's popped above there and come back in. So we want to see closes above 260 and the 200-day SMA. The other thing is that the 50-day SMA has been a pretty strong level of resistance. We already had one major rejection there back in May, and now it's down so low to the 200-day SMA that it risks a death cross. So you're going to want to see more upside in this, so that doesn't happen, and we get more of more movement like what happened back in November last year. If not, then yeah, I think this this probably goes down to closer to 200.
Okay, that'll be something to watch here. CRM, we'll be checking in on this. Lynn saying golfing day Friday still a show. So the 4th of July is Thursday. Friday the markets are open. So is Benzinga. I will be here. I'm not sure if 13 will. 13 will. You'll have to kind of surprise us. Maybe we'll take bets. Maybe we'll get some odds on a betting site for whether or not 13's here on Friday. But we are open. The market is open. The only holiday this week is Thursday. So,
hi, Wisdom. Wisdom's in the chat.
What's up, Wisdom? Keep dropping that wisdom on us, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm not going to be home on Friday, so unless you want a brief appearance via phone. I'm probably not going to be there on Friday.
Okay, I will. We'll have some fun here on Friday. Bring all of the jokes. Crow, you can bring beer. Okay, that's fine.
I'll
take the day off. You've earned it. Look, if that materializes this week, that'll be possible, and I'll keep you guys informed. But otherwise, we grind, Lynn. We grind.
NNE might be trying to take out 30 here in a little bit.
30 was the spot, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I don't see anything great. The Tesla trade was probably the one to take. Chewy was a disaster. Did you have one of those smaller names that moved?
CSLR. I'm just waiting for it to do its thing.
Yeah, no, CLSR. Here we are at 160s.
Mm-hmm. So just being patient with this one. Oh man, that's not good to see these Bitcoin mining names not be able to break out. They get up to close to the high that they made in this morning, and then they just keep getting rejected. some point, it looks like they should try to break out, but needs more volume. ASRT, I don't know why that one. This must be from last week. EOSE also trying to push up to 154. Needs more volume in that one as well. Volume seems to be the game.
EOSE.
Yeah.
So 150 looks like the spot that's kind of stopping it.
What do I think caused those huge red candles in CSLR? But are we talking about like intraday? I mean, this was, I was mentioning this before we opened. It looked like it was starting to run out of steam here into the open. CSLR had a nice breakthrough over 180, and then it struggled to get over the $2 handle. I had mentioned 230 as being the next level that it was going to get up to prior to opening, and we got up to 235 and then came back in. So I think that might have just been the big level everybody was going to try to take profit on. Now we're coming down to or down around where we were trading up to on Friday. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for support between here and 140s. And if I don't get that, then I'll just stop out with the loss on this one, which is fine.
Crow mentioning GovX going for 4 here. GovX has actually been pretty decent.
Oh, right. Mara and CLSK just got a rug pull.
CLSK. So actually Bitcoin turning over here, 63,000 on the futures chart. Looks like that's going SPY lower here too, by the way. SPY pulling. Dow's actually off of its highs here. And NASDAQ turning around here too. So look at the SPY. Maybe have a new intraday low here. Okay.
Look here. Ooh,
okay.
Through that level.
Let me go through the chat. What did I miss here? SNTI. That's a penny stock, isn't it? Yep. SNTI. That's still moving here. Alexa, good morning. Happy Monday. Hood in play. Wasn't there news on Hood? Didn't someone say that they were not accepting orders earlier? I can't confirm that.
Yeah, somebody said that, I forget who, they were down.
Yeah. So earlier here, watching shares of Robinhood, company posts on X, we're experiencing an interruption in service for some users and are working to resolve it as soon as possible. We're working on a solution. Stay tuned for updates, and we apologize. So that was at 10:09 Eastern. It was just 3 minutes ago, frankly. The company tweeted it, so that's something here. Hood only down. Hood only down, not even 1%, 0.75%. My goodness. So maybe this is actually an opportunity here. We'll see what happens. Looks like this is just kind of a temporary outage, not affecting everybody. So
there's a news headline that shows up here for the SPY. Weekly ETF flows, utilities and financials see the highest inflow.
Okay, so that's going to be from the first of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? That's for SPY, huh?
And the first of the month isn't. We're still in the middle of it, so just wait for that the day to finish to get some more to get some better data, because I think this is just kind of seeing what's happened so far.
CSLR 13. You know what? I'm going to try some of this. This was your spot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying some right down here. We're going to buy it when it's weak. Let's see if we curl back up here. Stop's going to be pretty easy. We break right beneath 157. We're out of it here. Let's see. CSLR. This is just trying to buy the weakness. Let's see if we can move back towards the VWAP. I have the VWAP at 195. If it can test that, we'll see.
Yeah, volume's just not great in this one right now. Bitcoin names are really safe.
Jeff, appreciate this insight here, Jeff. Hood, piss poor execution, but not down. So it looks like it is working. It's just not giving you the best experience. Leave it at that. We'll see.
Big red in the Bitcoin mining names right now, especially CLSK. That one's down to pre-market levels. I wonder if HCC is going to end up breaking over VWAP. Needs to get some volume to do that, but it's got a pretty good setup. Let's see. I have to wait and see what happens with that one. Yeah, some of these.
Which one?
I was just talking about HCC. I'm just cycling. You know, when things move as slow as they do, I just start cycling through these that I have on my watch list here. See what they're doing. GOVX got the 381, made a new high, and then came right back in. No strength. NNE still hasn't hit 30. What else? Where's Lion Atlas today? I'm sorry, FMC. Where's FMC today? Yeah, SPY really got a pull. You know, it seems like ever since the ISM data came out that it got super weak.
Yeah, there and here and really quickly, just to kind of cover all the bases here. What?
Shout out to Jay on pointing that out.
Okay. ISM manufacturing for June, 45.5 versus the 49.2 estimates, a little weak there. ISM manufacturing prices for June, 52.1 versus 55.8 estimate, excuse me. Prior reading was 57. So both those numbers weak here. Market continuing to show some weakness. Remember, one of the things that we talked about from the outset here, though, is likely to be kind of a low volume, just entire week. In fact, I see a number of people on vacation. SPY's traded. No, I was going to say that's not SPY. I was like, there's no way. There's no way that that's true. SPY's traded 9 million shares here this morning. Look for this to be a low volume week. So this move, although it is down here, it's down on low volume.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up to a major holiday. This trading's going to be weak going into that. It could pick up on Friday, but the following week should be a lot better. Also, interestingly enough, in election years, we typically get a spike in the VIX around this time. It typically happens, and you can go back and look at the VIX on every election year that we've had. Toward the end of June and the beginning of July, there's usually a spike in the VIX around that time. It's not exactly sure what it's on. Maybe it's just, transition from the first half to the second half. Could be a number of things. It's always there. You can go back and look at the VIX for every single one of those election years. It's always one there. There's another one in late August, early September. And there's another one in late October, early November. I don't think I need to explain what that one is about. So looking for spikes in the VIX in those particular ranges of time in election years. Very interesting to have that repeat. And this is over the last 4 elections that I've looked at this data.
SNTI here, this is really the only stock putting in any type of move here. So for you penny players, SNTI. Poet, I guess this one's kind of moving here. Didn't really have a whole lot on this one. Poet at the highs here.
Well, looks like the Bitcoin Ninja trying to recover. Let's look at Bitcoin. Yeah, it went down to 62,000 and a half. Found a level, started recovering. Let's see if it can regain that strength. Get back up into closer to the 63,000 handle.
How's Mara and some of those miners doing here?
They're trying to rebound.
Okay. ETSS pushing. That's right above the VWAP. Really, really kind of a slow day here, folks.
Super slow day.
Rivian continuing to move higher here. Someone asked about Rivian earlier. Danielle saying, what did you mention this morning regarding Rivian? I missed your conversation. Well, we pretty much just kind of recapped some of the things that we've been discussing on Rivian. Shout out to Jay for mentioning that Volkswagen investment that they got also happened to XPEV last year, and it looked like XPEV has been cut in half since then. One of the big things that I had said regarding Rivian is that the trading action since that news post was definitely concerning. This is what I was showing you, Danielle. We were not, although we punched above that 200-day, we were unable to close above that 200-day. We actually back tested it. This, to my eye, until we can get 1, 2, maybe even 3 closes above this 200-day, lower we go here. I wouldn't be surprised if this gap filled on the way down on Rivian. Company still loses about $1 billion a quarter.
Yeah,
that was the rundown. Now that being said, there was a decent day trade here. There was a decent day trade here today. So, and by the way, your CSLR, maybe it's trying to come off that bottom here. Let's see if we get this.
Yeah, this is more or less doing what I'm looking for it to do. And maybe take a little bit of profit once we get into the 180 handle. And probably be, I think at this rate, because of how low the volume is, I might want to be mostly out or all out by the time it gets to VWAP. Yeah, and HCC, this one looks like it's trying to set up for a VWAP break. Volume's too low, so I'm not guaranteeing or anything that's going to happen. It just has a nice pattern formation here. Seeing some more strength in these Bitcoin mining names. Let's do this. Do that. All right.
Let's see what happens at 170 here on CSLR.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what's interesting here? So, Jay, let's shout out to Dennis here real quick. DDD been very good with a few names, JPM and especially Tesla. He's been watching Tesla for a long time. Don't forget, though, Triple D was long the banks into the stress test. They pulled back after that. At least some of them did. And then he went back at it. That's one of the things that he's so good at. Glad to see him winning there.
He's really well experienced too. Like he's from my understanding is he's in multiple things when he's trading in the he trades in the very early morning, right? But he's like in multiple things at a time. Just a phenomenal trader.
Yeah, he's really good. Crow mentioning DJT red green here. Wasn't there news here on DJT is also them joining the Russell? Let me check here real quick.
Really?
Yeah, Trump Media and Technology Group joined the Russell 1000 and Russell 3000 indexes, ticker DJT. That actually moved lower on that news right out of the open, but is coming back here, red green. Let's check on Micron. Let's take a look at CSLR. I really wanted this to push a little bit more. I guess it's still early. We'll see if it can get above 170 there, CSLR.
Let's see here. With Micron actually testing the 50-day SMA. And this is interesting too. It's been riding the 50-day for, well, pretty much the entire year since February. At some point, that's going to fail. And the more frequently it's tested, the more likely that's going to happen.
Apple to the highs here. This is not the ticker that I typed in, dude. Not at all. Apple to the highs here. It's been a pretty decent move here on Apple.
Just everything's so...
Yeah, there's really, I don't see, I mean, I'm okay, glad I'm in like this little scalp here on CSLR, but I don't really see a whole lot of anything. And unfortunately, the scalp is not going to make back what was lost on the Chewy debacle from earlier. So, Tom saying, man, I've chosen a whole basket of stale potatoes today. I feel you, dude. And that's one of the things I did want to avoid here. Remember, we talked about this before. First of all, cash is a position. Okay. And you do not have to trade. Like, this is one of the reasons why I highlight volume numbers so often on here, because there are times where it's just, there's not a whole lot going on. And you could actually make a decent pick, but just simply be trapped in something because it's not trading any volume.
All right. Well, I guess there's
Apple's still at the highs.
Nothing more to do except just talk. Oh, DTSS going to go? Let's take a look at DTSS.
Well, let's do it. I'm down to look at anything at this point, folks. I got one trade on. It's probably not going to work. I don't have. I'm. This might be just kind of a light week.
Yeah. This one on a break of what is this? About 712, 710. Looks like 710 might be the level here with all the sellers in the way. With DTSS, trying to break 710 to get to over 760. It looks like. Let's see what happens here. Potatoes attract beautiful.
What did I miss?
Oh, wisdom with his wisdom.
Oh. I can never tell if it's a joke or not, so I try not to put too much seriousness into it. DTSS here, watch 7.
Yeah, I think 710's the 710 and 720. They have the biggest walls to get through here.
So Tony, facts, dude, and I can totally relate to this. So just to be very clear, Tony's comment here: it's hard not to trade on a Monday. Degen's lament. Okay, so first of all, I find the Degen's lament comment hilarious. I actually think that that's really funny. But this is something real. There have been a number of times, like I've sometimes over the weekend, like I'll think about what took place last week. I'll come up with a playbook of what I'm looking to go for going forward. Like I'll just kind of prepare. And by the time Monday morning rolls around, I'm like, it's been this entire weekend. Like I'm ready to trade. And then it's just, you don't have it, right? You don't. And here's CLSR. Are we losing this? Now we're just going to lose everything here today. Look at this. My God, this breaks 157. We're out on this 0 for 2, and that's probably it. I'm with you though, Tony. I can relate to this. On Monday, I always have like that desire, and then sometimes you're not giving it on money. You're not giving a setup. That's kind of where we're at here.
Hopefully, we don't get a bar hold pattern here with this CSLR one on a 5-minute. That's what it's looking like, which isn't good. DTSS still waiting for this one to take out 710. Got up there, had a hard time with it. Still chewing at it right now, actually. And lots of orders trying to come in and take that out. Not the volume we need, though. Need more than this. That goes with a lot of these stocks. Sean Carter avoids Mondays.
Looking around here, man, oh man.
It's a bit of a thin day today.
It is not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, but you know,
team, what do you? I got an idea. Why don't we just show up completely blitzed for happy hour? I mean, like 3 sheets, bottle of scotch still in hand. What do you think? I'm kidding.
As fun as that sounds,
like, actually, I was thinking about that for a second. It wasn't so bad.
As fun as that sounds, I'm sure I'd say something I'd probably want to get back. So,
oh yeah, me too. Lynn, let's get you a golf day. How do we reach Raz? Raz is not going to decide whether or not Friday is something of note. I will ask the team. I'll see what the plan is here. And you know what? Maybe this picks up. Maybe tomorrow we kind of have the inverse, right? Maybe we have like a bounce back day. Maybe we have some news catalysts that are really kind of driving things. Things change in the market from one day to the next, sometimes from 1 minute to the next. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but again, kind of thought that this week wasn't going to be gangbusters.
Yeah, my secret GME position. Say something like that. That's why I don't want to do it. Neville is in PTLR at 1625, trimming a little more than $9 later. I mean, you know, I'm not going to tell you not to take profits on the way up. I mean, I think we are all thinking that this is going to end up going higher with moments of buying and selling in between. I don't want to make your decision for you, Neville. If that was my position, I don't know what your size is either, like how many shares you have. But if you are planning on buying more at a better price, should it come down, manage it how you will. I think I'd probably take a little bit, but I don't know what your long-term goal is with PLTR, and I have a little bit more of a long-term goal with that one.
Who was the guy that was oh god, let me look it up because I don't want to disrespect him and butcher his name. So let me actually look that up here real quick.
Spy's trying to recover. I think that 545.18 previous all-time high either going to get a big green candle going over that, or we'll get rejected there.
Let me see here real quick. I'm trying to find it. Webinar. I don't have his name here. God, let me get you his name. I just don't want to screw it up. I really don't want to screw it up. So let me just ask Zunaid when he gets back. I'll let you guys know.
So DTSS trying again, needs to reclaim 7 so it can try to break over this 710 level here. Self-driving Ubers contracted with Tesla in future. Thoughts? I mean,
Sammy. Okay. Thanks, Jay. Sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't know, man. I feel bad about that. I really do.
You know, I think that we need to be a little bit more clear-eyed about the self-driving with vehicles. I don't know how far away we are from that. So I don't know if we can, how to really trade, you know, that theme this far out, in my opinion, King Alam. I think it's going to be a little while before we get there.
There's the name, Jay, in the chat there, spelled correctly too, double checked. Okay, sorry, a lot of things to go through here. Looks like I'm getting CLSR. We're gonna lose this. This is gonna be a loss. That probably ended up not working. Here's the other thing I saw regarding Tesla this morning. I had a newsprint here this morning. Tesla FSD training hits a snag. Elon Musk says new version rollout delayed due to driving smoothness issues. This is just kind of another cog in the wheel, if you will. I am not a believer in this at all. I know we've talked about this quite a bit. We've talked about there being good use cases for this. This is not a long tradable thesis, in my opinion. We're done here. My goodness. All right. I'm 0 for 2 today here on day trades. I'm done for the day. I am definitely not executing anything else. This is junk. None of the setups here are working for me. Regarding the Tesla thing, though, I think that's actually more of a potential short play, right? You're more likely to get more bad news about the full self-driving than you are good news at this stage, in my opinion.
We got some big movement in the Bitcoin names now. They're ripping.
Which ones? Let me go ahead and pull that up here.
CLSK, Mara, Riot. They be ripping. Broke out of that consolidation. Bitcoin moving up. Did Chewy find a bottom? Let me take
confirmed. We are here for Friday. Confirmed. So I am anyway. I think Nick will be joining me as well. What was that 13 that you were just asking?
I think it was we were getting asked if Chewy found a bottom, or it may have just been a comment, but it looks like we've hit the low from Friday. So it's possible it turns around here, but if any, it also just might be one of those bounce levels that takes us up a little bit and then we go lower. If we are bouncing here, I think we're going to need to clear through the 27 handle.
Okay. It does look like the selling has kind of slowed down in terms of the price movement here, but looking at these volume candles, all red. Just to me, like looking at this, given the news that we have about Roaring Kitty taking a passive stake, looks like he's fleecing people. Again, I'm not going to make a call for someone to go to jail, and that is not my, prerogative at all. But man, oh man, looking at the price action, looking at what happens on GME, like meme trades a short so far.
NNE broke out over 30. So all the ones that are working are the ones that we're not in.
Yep.
Yeah, fair trial. I agree. This is so many obstacles, and you're relying on computers to be quick enough to figure out which ones are obstacles and which ones are, actually vehicles or people. I mean, they can be obstacles too, but not in the sense that you want to the computer to believe.
Yeah, funky cold stocks. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree on Roaring Kitty. He knows what's going to happen when he posts a meme or a position. Jay, Kitty has hurt a lot of traders lately, especially GME. Hard to argue with this, Jay. Facts.
Yeah.
See, and here, Funky Cold Stock says the question is that legal? This is the aspect of it that I'm just gonna, and this is something else I want to encourage anyone else out here. When we see some of this hyped up stuff happening in the news cycle, whether it's Roaring Kitty, AMC, GME, Chewy, it doesn't matter. When you see all of this stuff, remember at the end of the day, you have a choice. And if you don't understand it or you don't believe in it, not playing it might be the move. Right? That might be the move. That is going to be your choice at the end of the day. And so that's a lot of the times why you'll see me on GME and AMC. I just don't even trade them. We get people coming in here saying how it's going to the moon. And then if we say, well, I don't know if it goes to the moon fundamentals, then they call us morons. Then we never see them again. This is one of the reasons why you don't trade that stuff. It's just can't necessarily make sense of it. He's sitting on like a fortune too. So like if he loses millions of dollars, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It does not affect his life.
We saw him
in
do
any
that.
capacity. Yeah. We saw him make a joke about it. That's the other thing. He made a joke about it. I don't know. I don't joke about, that's one of the reasons why even on here, I don't like, even though I'm in a prop account, even though I have reduced size, that's not really going to affect my life. I don't like losing. I don't like going on losing streaks. I don't like that. I don't want other people to follow me into things that are going to cause them to lose them money. The entire ethos of what we're doing here is the opposite of that, right? That's one of the reasons why I'm so angry with Portillo's. An institution that I grew up loving, that I then talked about, has been cut in half from ridiculously bad management. I feel terrible for that. I don't understand how these guys with these huge followings can go out and say all these grandiose things and then go to sleep at like it's not really a big deal. I don't know. I'll get off my soapbox though.
Yeah, it looks like DTSS ain't going to be the one today.
What happened on DTSS? I'll bring it up here.
It lost VWAP and it's going down.
That's CSLR. It looks like everything really has kind of lost VWAP.
Let's see here what SPY's doing. Still underneath that 544.12 level. How much volume have we traded in SPY? About 11.5 million shares. We've been open for an hour. Okay, well, more headlines from the Supreme Court. What's DJT doing then? It seems like it likes the decision.
Which one?
DJT?
Yeah, I think the Supreme Court basically partially agreed with the immunity thing. Is that what's going on? Let me see if I can get facts on that.
Kingdom Lamb, there's like a whole math equation that you just reminded me of that proves that it is the root of all evil. Let's see here. Zim still putting new highs in, intraday highs, not all time.
Let's take a look here at Zim.
All right. Slow day, folks.
Matt, here, this is actually a decent question here. Matt, what do you like about Portillo's, the food? Okay, so again, born and raised in Chicago, so know that. The Italian beef is one of my favorite things. Anyone can do a burger, anyone can do hot dogs. Frankly, I think I do pretty good hot dogs on the grill and burgers myself. But the Italian beef at Portillo's is just unbelievable. And on top of that, if you like cheese fries, Portillo's really probably has the best cheese fries that you can buy at any chain restaurant anywhere, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, this has been a thing from my childhood. So maybe there's a nostalgic bias attached to that. I try to be very, very clear about that. And I have been trying to be very, very clear about that from the beginning. But just that comfort food of that Italian beef with the hot peppers on it. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry to
no
switch gears,
problem.
but yeah, for DJT, yes, the SCOTUS ruling is making it pop, and we are getting that on the immunity of official acts. Did we get information on whether or not that covers unofficial acts, or if that's
no? I think the quote was that it only covers the official acts, right? So I just saw it here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, breaking. Supreme Court rules 6-3 on presidential immunity case determining immunity for presidents on all official acts. Which seems like a common sense ruling, to be honest.
Yeah. Thanks for the clarification. Let's see what Bitcoin names are doing. They've come up.
And really quickly, before I flip over to Bitcoin, just to be completely clear here, I'm not sure how I process that information for the purpose of trading, right? Like we're reading that information. We're kind of discussing it here. I'm looking at the stock price of DJT. I don't have a great trade thesis coming out of that. It's okay to not trade it, even though that's like one of the pieces of news that's coming right now. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Anyway, what are you saying?
Well, I think it's just because, you know how we talk about Tesla. If you want to trade that, you're essentially trading Elon Musk, just as with DJT, you're essentially trading Donald Trump. So I think everything that swings to his favor, that's where the trades are in that particular stock. So that's why we're seeing that that movement from DJT following that Supreme Court ruling. So I guess if there's another ruling that they need to make on unofficial acts, and it doesn't work out for him, then that could probably make the DJT stock sink. So that's how I think you trade those.
Just going through what I see here on the relative scanner, and I don't really see much of anything here. EBI Pitney Bowes, that's higher here.
Yeah, I think we missed the Bitcoin names when I was looking at the ones that aren't working out so well.
ENVX getting mentioned here as a huge winner from Zoltan.
What are your plans for the 4th? What is everybody's plans for the 4th?
My plans. So I got a 7:30 tea time with a bunch of randoms too. Just going out by myself, 18 holes, bunch of randoms in the morning. That's going to be a lot of fun, pending the weather. Actually, I need to check on the weather. That reminds me. But other than that, probably just hanging out, cooking some food. I got to check what the sports docket is. I'm not really going anywhere, at least not right now. What about you? I know you got to have something crazy coming on the grill.
Oh,
smoker.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. We'll be setting off explosives, and swimming in the pool in between those times. A traditional 4th of July by today's standards.
Tom says, as an Englishman, I'm going to throw a tantrum. Tom, I'll say this, though. I'll say that I can appreciate the sense of humor that you have. That is not lost on me. Hope the temper tantrum goes well, Tom. That's really funny.
Yeah, you could pop in The Patriot and watch that movie.
Pop in The Patriot.
Actually, Independence Day has been something that I've put on in past July 4th.
All right.
Just because it's something to have, it's fun to have in the background,
That's all right. It's time. You brought it up, so it's time. Look, I am. You guys say what you will of me, make fun of me any way that you want. There are definitely some movies out there that I will always watch, probably till the day I die. Saw him as a kid, left a mark on me. Still kind of enjoy him to this day. Jurassic Park, definitely probably at the top of that list, right? It doesn't matter when it is. I will always watch Jurassic Park. Men in Black also on there. But also on this list here is going to be Independence Day. I don't think that this is a great movie, but man, oh man, I could watch that. I will probably throw that on in the background on July 4th, just for you, 13. Just for you.
It's me, Russell K, sir.
Wait, we still got that.
Yeah, we do.
Wait a sec. Wait a
me,
sec.
the Russell 2000, sir. How is the IWM?
Oh, dude. You know what? We got to check. Now we got to check.
Oh, wow. Great. Looks like he just ran into the primary weapon.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We got to get Russ. Someone page Russ. We got to figure something out here. Sorry, guys. I'm having too much fun here today.
Some things to stand for. That movie. Yeah, that second one. Let's just pretend that one never even happened.
Yeah, okay? I don't know if I've seen that all the way through.
Then don't.
Then don't. Okay. Some things are better left unseen.
It was just meant to be, I mean, the story's not there, but it's just a visual spectacle and nothing more.
I am looking around here. I don't see much of anything, folks. I don't see much of anything.
That's why we're talking about Independence Day.
I know. I'm trying to reiterate why we're having fun. I'm not purposely ignoring things. Let's put it that way.
Was mentioning RELI. This one doing okay. This one looks like it's trying to push higher. Let me look at a different chart here. Looks like it wants to recapture those pre-market highs, which is still a ways away. 588 was the pre-market high. It needs more volume to get back up there, but you do have a bit of a... No, you don't. Never mind. This needs more volume, like everything in this market right now. Just close your eyes and buy Dell. I might hit the wrong button. Don't close your eyes and trade, folks. Don't do that. Yeah, I know, Fairchild. That was pretty much expected to be along party lines. I don't think there's a lot of people that are really happy with our SCOTUS right now. It's just a reality we have to deal with. Look at these Bitcoin names now creating a bull flag.
I don't see anything wrong personally, but we'll save that debate for a different day.
Sure. CLSK, Mara, Riot, they're all putting in a bit of a bull flag formation here. So watch Bitcoin for some upside movement. There might be, I mean, let's say that it gets back above 62,800. You might see that resolution of the bull flags. Oh man, it's such a slow day.
Yeah, it really is. I'm looking around here. Boeing, I just saw some Boeing. That's not even doing anything at the moment.
And Tom Herbert, that's, you know, if there's no gains to be had in the market, get in the gym. Absolutely. Well, maybe we need to be talking about some of these longer term names. How's the XLC doing? I know I've
learn with Moses. Hey, I like the. What do you think of this thesis? Maybe the reason the volume is low is because the Canadian traders are on holiday. Shout out to our Canadian traders for holding the market up. Then, if that's the case, learn with Moses.
Did Triple D trade today?
I did not catch pre-market prep this morning, but I believe that he did. Yeah, he was on.
There's one Canadian trader we know didn't take a day off. No, that's a good point. I'm sure that's has probably a good portion of what we're seeing here today. All right. What are you folks looking at right now? China? What? China and Canada? Is that what you're getting at, Gerald? Is that they're both not trading as much today?
My scanner's even dry, even with penny stocks.
Yeah, the market's a desert today.
Yep. Anyone else excited over the NHL draft? Well, I guess we'll try that. Maybe it's just me, though. I can totally understand if it's just me. Chipotle here holding lower, didn't break down anymore. They're still in mourning after the Stanley Cup. Yeah, that was a rough run. That was a rough one, Jay.
So here's an interesting thing here, Ryan. Remember I was talking about XLC last week, about it being a potential double top here. Starting to see some weakness today after the reversed on Friday. The 20-day SMA is going to be the first level of support here. We start losing that, then the 50s beneath it at 82.65. This is going to be interesting to see if we actually do double top in this XLC. Now, remember, this is actually really heavily weighted with Meta and Google stocks. Actually, 45% of the weight in this ETF is just those two companies. So those two companies sell off, I think this whole thing starts to come down, and you probably end up seeing some rotation into the more traditional names in this ETF, which would be like AT&T, Verizon, Disney. Even though I don't really think Disney deserves to be going up, it might get a little bit of recovery.
And actually, Disney, we saw that sell off on Friday, didn't we? Yeah, and Disney taking another leg lower here today. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
we talked about this one losing 100. Yep.
And we also talked about it, maybe potentially finding support at 97.50. What did we get today with that?
VKTX showing up on my relative volume scanner finally here. This holding at 56.75. Jay, this is even higher than when we looked at it before. Nice move here in VKTX.
Yeah, I think this still might end up going to 97.50. I think that's still a possibility there.
Fairchild, yeah, I can understand this. We got to get Wisconsin a NHL team. Totally get it. Utah just got one. I'll be interested to see how they do. And although I actually need to do a mea culpa here, I'm not sure if this person is around. Someone out there told me about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, that Patrick Kane was going to stay with the Red Wings. I was calling for Patrick Kane to re-sign as a Blackhawk and then retire a Blackhawk. Someone in the chat said, nope. Kane is staying a Red Wing. And I disagreed with you, and I was wrong. Heard yesterday that Patrick Kane does sign a one-year deal with the Red Wings. So I lost on that one. Did wake up to see the Hawks sign Tyler Bertuzzi this morning. So whoever that was right about Patrick Kane, come get your flowers. You called it.
I think we're going to have a lot of discussion about Nike today in Happy Hour. There's a lot of mentions about that.
About which one, Nike?
Mm-hmm. About how it's pretty heavily discounted. I know there's some folks that are looking for 50 in Nike. Let me bring up the chart here so I can have this conversation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we'll see 50, but I think that 60 is a more likely possibility. That's if we don't start seeing it turn around. I mean, it's really oversold still, and a lot of folks are still thinking this is a pretty big discount.
So 60 would represent your COVID flush low. Here's a weekly chart for Nike on the screen here. 60. I actually just had it there. 60.20 represents that low.
Yeah, so 60 looks like a pretty realistic downside level in Nike. Not that 50 isn't realistic. I just personally don't think that it's going to get down there. I can see how it could be a potential level. It's actually the bottom of a demand zone, so it's still possible. But I think that the discount that it's already at, that 50 I mean, it would be a screaming buy at 50.
I don't know if this will ever get back to its highs where it was at before. And like I said, I mean, I like when we first talked about this, I think the Air Jordan brand is going to be fine ultimately, right? But with just Nike in general, more and more people are trying other shoe companies, myself included. I have my first pair of Hokas, and they're awesome. And then other shoes that take the place of your everyday shoe, like a Cane's recovery shoe. Those are also awesome. ONON has gotten mentioned on this show quite a bit. So a lot of stuff going on here with Nike. And really quickly, the other thing, I don't know if any of you folks are into podcasts. Nobody really seems to talk about them a whole lot on here, but there was a Joe Rogan podcast where they interviewed two guys that are starting the Enhanced Games, which is basically an Olympic style event that allows like steroids, that allows any type of performance enhancing anabolic steroids and such. And the guy brought up a pretty interesting point. Nike's entire marketing campaign is that the fastest people in the world wear Nikes. Well, if they opt not to do that, and there are people at the Enhanced Games that are breaking world records and they're not wearing Nikes, that's going to hurt Nike's image, whether or not you agree with the Enhanced Games or not. So just something to think about. I've thought about that. Not last week, but the week before, maybe.
Yeah, the point about the Enhanced Games, I think that's getting a lot of appeal lately because you're seeing these committees and these organizations that are supposed to be the governing authority on anti-doping, and they're not doing their job. And you have countries like Russia and China that are constantly have athletes that are failing these checks, but they're still allowed to compete. Maybe they'll just take it, their Russian, country flag away and still say they're competing for the Olympics. They're Russians competing in the Olympics, not for Russia. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't be allowed to compete at all. So solves the problem by just having an event or a series of events where you just have everybody just get pumped up on this crap. Yeah. Just push the limits of human ability.
Well, and that's one of the things that they're saying, right? They want to see what the limits of the human being is. It's a fascinating interview. I'm not sure I have an opinion one way or another, but just kind of trying to tie it to Nike any way that I can.
You'll probably see a lot more heart attacks. I hate to say it, but you're going to probably see athletes' heart raging with all of these PEDs that people are going to get juiced up on. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that I would not like that. That's for sure.
All right. Well, more sideways action, but to your point about Nike, the interesting thing is that we're seeing a lot of weakness ahead of the Olympics. So once the Olympics starts to come underway and you start seeing all these Nike commercials, does that help the stock? Do we see it move up from there? I think it could.
Okay. Couple of minutes until our show ends here. Any closing thoughts? Thoughts on AMD? Okay, we can do that. We can take a look at AMD here.
Yeah, sorry for the slow day, folks.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing we can do. This is part of it. So I've seen a couple of people already leave and go to the gym. That's a really good idea. If you cannot exercise the trading muscle, exercise the body and the mind instead. Sharpen yourself. AMD, nice little move down here on relatively easy or normal volume. I'm looking at the NASDAQ. It's just kind of down a little bit. I don't really see anything going on. Let me see if there was anything new in AMD. I'm going to check that out.
150 looks interesting. Sorry, 150 looks interesting in AMD. You have the 200-day SMA coming up to that level. Yeah. It's currently at 147.90. That's going to be, between there, the 200-day SMA and 150, that's going to be where I think we're going to end up going down to. Now, a bounce possible, but it could be one of the, a dead cat bounce. I'm not going to, say anything about that, except that it's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'd like to see the price get down there, and then we can have that conversation about what happens next. But right now the volume is so low, and those levels look good.
Yep. AMD here, the trade for me. What do we do at that 200 days? Kind of what you were just talking about. 200-day value 147.90. If we can test that and then close above it several times, that would be pretty good. That'd be pretty good for maybe a potential trade there as well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, 13. That's going to do it here for us here today. Really, really slow day, but you know what? We still made the most of it. And so too did our community. Shout out to all you guys. Looked like there were some trades right around the open that you were able to take. Any closing words here, 13?
Like I said on Friday, don't try to force trades. It's a very low volume day. Things aren't probably going to work out as well as we had planned for them with, when they do have volume. So just be careful with your trades. Maybe, take a cue from some of the other folks in chat, go hit the gym or go outside, touch grass, do all those good things. Today just doesn't seem like it's really there with the market. Maybe after lunch things change, but for now, I'd find something better to do with your time.
Well said. We're going to send you over to Apex Trader. Have a good one, folks. 13, take care. We will see you tomorrow. Happy Canada Day to all of our Canadians out there. Have a good one.